truth. I call in my prayer, it is simple and clear. It wants me to give and receive love. I call in the light to make everything right and show me the way to just be love. And show me the way to just be love.
Hello and welcome to Rewire Your Attachment Style. This is Maya Diamond, and I'm so excited to be here today with a graduate of the Empower Love program, Diya. So excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so great, Maya. Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to see you.
Yeah, wonderful to see you. I'm excited to kind of dive into your experience in the program, your results, etc. And I would love to start with the question of what did your love life look like before you found the program? How did you feel uniquely challenged? Like, what was going on that made you kind of seek out the program in the first place?
Okay, so I have had about 13 years of horrible dating. I've dated multiple people, had relationships that were maybe a year long, a few months long. I was probably what you would call a serial dater. I dated a lot of emotionally unavailable men. I've dated a lot of men that were just not the right fit. And I've also dated men where I wasn't emotionally ready and available for them. So it's been 13 years of a lot of dating, and the 13 years started at the end of an abusive relationship or a marriage that ended badly. So it's just been a roller coaster, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then I just got tired of it, and I came across your program, and I decided I wanted to do something different. So here I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what had you say yes to the program?
I think I had just had enough of, it felt like a pattern. It was always the same thing over and over again. The relationship would start out great and then just not go great after. Everything would, it was never the way I wanted it in a relationship. I felt myself not being a priority and just accepting that, or not being treated right and accepting that, as opposed to being genuinely happy. And so I just decided I wanted to do something different. And that's what your program said it could do for me. And I just gave it a shot.
Yeah. Beautiful. You took that leap of faith. And what's the most important thing that's changed for you as a result of this work?
Well, a couple of things, actually, maybe more.
Great.
Well, I think the first thing that really changed for me is my perspective on myself. I left the program just really rediscovering who I am, who Diya really is, and what I'm worthy of and what I'm capable of and what I would not put up with in relationship.
Yeah.
And it was a huge revelation to just remember or remind myself that I am worthy of love and I am worthy of the relationship that I want the way I want it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that came out of the program, which when I graduated the program, it was just me feeling great about who I am, proud of who I am, and really just happy being single. And, I got a dog. I moved back into the house that I had bought a while ago and started living alone, happy and comfortable to be by myself. Yeah. And then a month later, I started dating someone who is now my boyfriend. It's only been a few months, but it's different. He treats me better than I've ever been treated before.
Beautiful.
During the last 13 years. And I'm very, very grateful that
Beautiful. And can you share a little bit more about just how big a deal that was of the happy and single, like on your own? Because I know that was a big shift, like a big shift. So I just want to highlight that.
Yes. I've been single on and off over the last 13 years, but what I realized is one of the reasons I was putting up with relationships and what I wasn't happy with was because I didn't want to be single. And I had this fear of being alone and ending up alone. And I think the key that I got from your program is the self-love aspect of it, of just really falling in love with myself and reminding myself that it's fun to be with Diya.
Yeah.
So that, make Diya a priority, because that's what I really want.
Yeah.
And I think that's what transformed it for me.
Yeah. And then you attracted someone who's really making you a priority, it sounds like.
Yes, definitely. Well, I'm fingers crossed, but I'm really excited.
So far, so good. Beautiful, beautiful. And what does your love life look like now? Maybe if you can share a little bit of what it looks like, and how did this work allow you to have it, if you want to share any more about that.
So my love life, what it looks like now is pretty awesome. I have a man who, just wants to spend time with me, makes me a priority. And in these times of COVID, where it's difficult to really go out and have a great, it's hard to do a lot of the things we normally did before.
Yeah.
We find ways to, go for walks or cook dinner together. And he brings me flowers once every 2 weeks. And it's pretty awesome, because I haven't had that in a while.
Beautiful.
He tells me how beautiful I am, way more than I'm used to hearing. It still sometimes doesn't sink in.
Yeah.
And he loves my hair, which I absolutely hated for most of my life. And he reminds me that I'm beautiful just the way I am. It's pretty wonderful. I always feel great when I'm around him. And he's been there for me consistently over the last 2 months. It's been a rough time for everyone. Being stuck indoors, lack of social life. He's been there.
Beautiful. And can you share for the people who, also because it's COVID and it's dating, if you could share a little bit about because this is really amazing. So this is a Corona love story, everyone, right? So it is possible to meet your partner during this time. I want everyone to know that. I've helped so many people meet their partners during the pandemic. And so if you could just share a little bit about just how you dated in the beginning, if you met him on a dating app or in person, and how you did the social distancing in the beginning before you went inside together.
Yeah, I do want to touch upon the question you asked me earlier as well, a little bit about how the work really helped me get here.
Beautiful.
And I think it's healing my past hurts. I had the time in the program, within the structures of the program. I had gotten over my past hurts and I had accepted it, but I hadn't healed from it. So healing and letting it go was a big part of what got me here. We talk about social distancing protocols and how we started our dating life. Well, I did meet him on an app. I met him on Bumble.
Awesome.
I call it bumbling. So I was bumbling and I came across him, and our first date was at a restaurant where we sat and, had a long chat. But before that, we had a couple of phone calls and had 3 or 4 phone calls before we met in person.
Nice.
So I felt awesome. Him.
Cool.
A walk on the Los Gatos Trail, which is really close to where we are. So we went for a walk downtown, ended up grabbing dinner after. So that was our second date. So it's been a few outdoor dates and then FaceTime as well. So
great.
A lot of fun conversations.
Yeah, beautiful. Good. So just so exactly, everyone just has an idea. There's so many creative ways to connect at the beginning of dating. And that's something that I guide people with, is really how to date in a way that really is to your own comfort level, because everyone has a different comfort level right now. And when you do it in a way that you're comfortable with, then it works. So, how did you feel? Well, actually, before we go to the next question, I just want to highlight what you said about the healing work, because I think that's so common that people feel like, oh, I'm done with that. That happened in the past. That didn't really affect me, or like it no longer affects me. But exactly, if you haven't actually healed those traumas or those negative experiences in love, then they can really dictate the choices and the behaviors that you're doing in your love relationships. And until we really heal those, these patterns can continue over and over again. And I know that happened for me. It wasn't until I actually healed one of my traumas from the past that I could open up to someone new again. And sometimes we think we've done the work, but there's actually more work that needs to be done. And healing, really, what happens in relationship needs to be healed in relationship. And so by getting the guidance of my coaching as well as the coach in the program, you get multiple levels of healing, as well as also doing the self-healing work, right, in the program as well. So now I want to ask you, how do you feel about the financial investment, and was it worth it to you to have the results?
Yeah. So when I first heard the price of the program, I definitely was a little stunned. But then I looked at it as it's an investment in myself, and it was over a 4-month period. It, when I think about it as a 4-month program where I spend a lot of time with the support of a great community and coach, to be honest, I was very fortunate and lucky to have the resources to pay for it. And I just got to a point where I had to do something different. So I jumped in with both feet. But in hindsight, it is definitely worth it, because I've done a lot of programs before, and I've done a lot of self-help books and reading things, and it was just very different. This program is very different in the fact that it's the first time that I was able to actually heal and actually love myself after being healed, in spite of everything that had happened. So I definitely think it's a good investment, at least it was for me, and don't regret it one bit.
Beautiful. And so thank you so much for sharing that. So powerful to hear. And what would you say to a woman who is interested in the program? Would you recommend it? Why or why not? So let's say there's a woman who's listening, or a man, because we also have a men's program now, which is amazing. And let's say they're like, they're on the fence, or they're, really interested, but they're not sure. What would you say to them? Would you recommend it? Why or why not?
Based on my experience, I would highly recommend it. For anyone that wants to have a better quality of life or a better relationship with themselves first, and then, of course, with the other people that they come into in their life. And the reason I recommend it is because I feel like it's the perfect amount of time to take a step back and invest in yourself. It's 4 months. You get the support that you need from the coach. And I met a wonderful community of women that have been there supporting me, and I'm still friends with them to this day, that have been there for me through this program. So it's about everything. It's the framework of the program, the structures that you have in place, the support from the group, the Facebook group that you can post and talk to the coaches on, and last but not least, definitely the coaches who lead us through the work. I highly recommend it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And for sharing all of that. And why should women or men do this program now versus wait or allow their reasons to stop them, right? So it's so easy when we're wanting transformation to also make excuses and say, oh, maybe I'll do it. I need to remodel my house, or I'll do it in 6 months, or, I can't really do it now because I have this health issue that I want to work on. Like, why would you say to do this program now versus wait?
Well, my honest opinion is that you need to do the program when you are ready to make a change. When you feel like you are ready to do something different, and you're willing to invest the time and money in yourself, that's when you do the program. So you have to be ready. So whether that's now or tomorrow, it depends on you, but highly recommend doing it when you want to transform your life.
Exactly.
It works. It really does. It works for your relationship with yourself. And then everything else, I believe, just falls in place after. I've been very lucky and fortunate.
Yeah. So beautiful. And I'll just highlight, because now there's the relationship with yourself, but also I'm just going to highlight one thing, which is the dating protocols and dating guidelines that we teach you probably also is really powerful for shifting, right? So there's the relationship with yourself, but then there's also the way that you date and the way that you approach dating, right? And for you, do you feel like that really shifted as well?
That was one of the big ones for me.
Yeah.
There's this excitement that used to happen on first dates, this ridiculous excitement that would happen. And now I realize that sometimes that's not necessarily healthy. And being able to talk through how I'm feeling on certain dates definitely helped me figure out what to do. The protocols, though they sounded difficult and weird at the time when I heard them, they're just so different from what I had been doing in the past. There's a reason. And I must say I followed them pretty closely, not to the T. I haven't been perfect in the protocols, but there's a reason they're in place, and it's definitely helped me get to where I am today. I love that there are those structures. It's almost like a recipe that you just follow.
Yeah, that you can relax into. Exactly. Beautiful. So thank you so much for chatting today. It's been so wonderful and heartwarming to I love hearing how this program has affected you and how much your life has changed as a result, both internally and externally. And it's so wonderful to see you. And I just love those like details around how he loves your hair, which I totally relate to, as I used to hate my hair when I was younger because it was, curly and I wanted straight hair, etc. But I love that, how we attract people when we do this work. We attract people who love things about us, that maybe, you weren't even there yet. Right. And it just increases the self-love. And that's the beautiful thing about relationships is we, love ourselves, but also it's an opportunity to grow and heal in relationship, right? When we're in a relationship that is kind and caring and considerate and respectful, then we can actually heal there as well as doing the work. So powerful to have attracted this amazing partner and to really feel deeply secure and happy in yourself and in your life. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I look forward to chatting with you more.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for all your help and for having me be a part of your program. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, my dear. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today on Rewire Your Attachment Style. If you're interested in joining the program, we would love to have you. And you can just go to empowerlove.us/apply to apply for a free love breakthrough session with me or a member of my team. And then if you're really loving the podcast, I would love it if you could subscribe to the podcast. That will allow us to attract even more listeners. And when you subscribe, then you'll get a notification when the new episode comes out, which is so exciting. So again, thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Rewire Your Attachment Style. This is Maya Diamond. To receive your 2 free gifts to help you on your journey to lasting love and to start rewiring your attachment style today, go to empowerlove.us/love.